everyone, it's Sarah or Lovely Day here with another video. It's been a while. I kind of feel a bit out of practice, but I thought it's about time I came back and did a wine and dollies video. I have a few things to talk about, so I'll just get right into it. Recently I've been working on making some BJD clothes. I would show you, but they're actually for a trade that I'm doing with Kate. She's Kate A over here on YouTube, so you might know her. If you don't, you should check her out. I'll put her in the description below. But yeah, we decided to do a BJD clothes outfit swap, and our theme is Winter Wonderland, I think it was. Essentially just warm, snuggly clothes. So yeah, the first thing I made was like a crochet thing, and to get myself kind of back in the groove of crocheting, I practiced making some like scarves and stuff. I'm not going to show you the actual things that I have made for my trade, but I will show you the experiments and the not so good ones that I made initially. So the first thing I made was this hat. It's quite cute. It has a pom-pom on the top, it's all crocheted, and then I put some lace around the bottom. Very cute, but the wool that I used is quite thick, and because of that this is very bulky, and then by adding the lace it removed some of the stretch, so all in all it wasn't actually that great in the end. But I mean, it was a good warm-up, a good first attempt, and I went on to make more. But before I did, I made a scarf to match. So that is this here, very cute. Because the wool was so thick, this is literally just one stitch, I think it was anyway. Pretty sure it's just one line or two lines of stitches. I cannot even remember, it was a while ago. But yeah, my second attempt was using this like mixed green that I had. It was better, but still had some flaws. I was just making these up as I went along as well. I didn't have a pattern or anything, I just kind of did a loop and then kept going around and expanded it when I thought it should be expanded. And yeah, it got this really weird ridge here. You may or may not be able to see it on camera, but for that reason I'm not too happy with it, so I decided that this would not be the final one, although I did make a scarf for it as well. Now, because the wool for this was thinner, I was able to actually stitch it properly, but I came to the conclusion that it's a bit too wide when it's on a doll. It just, I don't know, I thought it could have been a bit slimmer, so I tried again. The next one I made was this one here. It definitely was the better out of the ones I'd made so far. I mean, it didn't have any weird ridges, a nice tight pom-pom, you know. So yeah, I was pretty happy with that. And then when I made the scarf, I made it thinner and found I quite liked that as well. But when I put it with, you know, the material that I was planning on using for other things, it didn't quite match as well as I had hoped, and it looked a bit odd, so that's why I'm showing this one to you now. It's not the one I'm using in my trade. I made yet another set, which I will not show you, but all you need to know is that it is by far my favourite of all of them, so yeah. When I wasn't sewing hats, I was making other stuff. I have made pretty much all of an outfit at this point. I could probably do with maybe one more piece, but other than that it has everything, which is very cool. I'm very excited about it. Millie has been my model. She's been wearing all of the things I've made. That's why, if you're wondering as well, Millie looks a little bit mismatched because I quickly rushed to put her in something else before filming this because I didn't want to ruin the surprise. Another thing that's new is I finally received this MSD sized carry bag. I got it from Starshine Designs over on Etsy. I'll put them down below. I'm really happy with it. It's super soft in the middle. Has a very, very cute strawberry print on it. It has little pockets on each side, and this side actually has a little, sorry, it's over there, keychain as well, and their logo is on that part. Obviously the only doll I have that will fit in here at the moment is Ava, and she fits in there quite cozily, which is really cool. I'll show you what she looks like in there. Ava's actually undergone a little bit of a transformation too. I got her this wig quite recently. I just got it off of Trade Me. It's a Leek World wig. Can't remember the name of the colour. I think it was champagne from memory, but it's very much a strawberry blonde. It's not quite as pink as Millie's bob, but it still definitely has pink tones in there. I'm really happy with it, and I do like the longer, softer style on her. She's wearing the skirt I got recently from Cherry Dolls Boutique, as well as this SD size top, but I figured that it looked quite nice as a loose, I don't know, cardi almost over top of her little singlet that she came with. So yeah, she's obviously wearing the flats that I got from Fatio as well. But yeah, I will put her into this carry bag so you can see what she looks like. Another thing I've done with Ava is completely re-sueded her. The sueding she had when I got her was hot glue, and it was very worn and it wasn't really doing as much as it could. I actually decided that I would hot glue suede her again, and I mean, I was a bit, how do I put it? I wasn't expecting much from the hot glue suede that I would do. The only time I'd ever seen hot glue sueding before was on Ava, and I didn't think that much of it. I thought it didn't look very good and it wasn't really doing too much for her, but upon doing it again myself and refreshing it, I am converted. It really is a lot grippier. The sueding I had done on my girls previously it wasn't using a suede, it was using the material I use for my plushies. But it's not meant for that, and it's quite slippery, and all it really does is protect the resin, if that makes sense. So it's not rubbing because it's soft. It's quite slippy and doesn't do much for posing, but the hot glue does. So I hot glue sueded her whole body really, and it looks really, really good. I will show you more about that posing once I get her out of this, but for now, you can see her in there. She looks super, super cute. And of course I can zip it up the whole way. And then she's just ready to go on an adventure. I think I will get an SD one at some point. They are quite expensive with shipping to New Zealand. By the time I had paid for all of that, it was $41 US, which was a bit on the expensive side. There was also a little bit of a muddle up where I picked this because it was marked as pre-made, ready to ship, but it would have been about 2 weeks at least after I ordered it, I got a message on Etsy from the seller saying, hey, it was mistakenly labelled as ready to ship and it's not. Hope this is okay, I can still make it for you in like the next couple of days. And I was like, yep, that's fine, no worries. Another week or more later, they still hadn't made it and it was back and forth. And I mean, I get people are busy, that's totally fine. And they did let me know what was going on when I messaged them. But overall, it just took a very long time, and then shipping on top of that. So if you do want to get something from the shop, the quality is great and the prints are very cute. But don't do it if you need something in a short amount of time, because you will probably be waiting. And I mean, that's if something isn't marked as ready to ship, although this was. Maybe just message the seller to be sure, because if you're on a time constraint, it's probably not the best for you. But yeah, very cool, very happy with that. And it would be nice to have an SD sized one at some point. But yeah, I can take her out of there. It's cool because she fits in there even with her shoes on. If she had big high heels, she probably wouldn't fit, but you can always take those shoes off and put them in a pocket and you're good to go. But yeah, let's take Ava out. So you can probably tell just from the way I'm holding her, she is a lot sturdier than before with the sueding, especially this chest joint. Before it would always move and slip and it was quite awkward when she had her clothes on. I did put a lot of hot glue in the base of her head because if you weren't aware, the peridot head's neck hole is a lot bigger than the neck on the leg art body. So although it fit perfectly proportion wise in my opinion, and it also, you know, the resin match is perfect, the head to neck size match, fit, whatever you want to call it, was not, and it meant she was restricted to just looking straight ahead. She could kind of turn her head side to side, but she couldn't even begin to put her head up or down. So I filled that with hot glue so that now she can actually tilt her head side to side. She couldn't do that before. And she can actually look up and she can look down. Before, all she could do was just swivel. But yeah, I've been enjoying being able to do a few more, you know, emotive poses with her. Yeah, so that's quite cool, and yeah, she's definitely a cute little pastel girl, I think. Even though I got her with that dark wig initially, I might sit back and get a dark alpaca one for her at some point. I'm thinking possibly dark at the roots and then, you know, very light later on, but we'll see how we go. Yeah. Anyway, more on the sueding. So after seeing what it did to Ava, I thought that I should really give it a try for Millie, because if you don't know, Millie is my resin sole knee and she was quite floppy. I had sueded her with you know, the fabric that I talked about before, but it wasn't really doing much for her. So I have sueded her with hot glue, and I don't know if you can tell just from the way I'm holding her and moving her around, but she is as solid as a rock. It has done wonders for her. To give you an example, like if I put her arms out and her legs out, so I'm not gonna fix up her socks, and just put her like this, she can stay like this. No problems at all. Like, okay, now her knees bend, but like it's because her socks are hooked in there. Before, she had no chance of doing that at all. Like, you know, they're really sturdy in there. Sure, they'll move eventually, but what I'm trying to say is she's just super sturdy now. And she's a lot easier to pose. Her elbow and knee joints, just because of that extra material in there, they're a bit prone to popping out slightly, and they don't fit together quite as cohesively as they did before. But the extra you know, posability and secureness that the glue provides is just so much better. So yeah, that's been something new with Millie. Also, the wig that I have commissioned for her is all but done. I'll insert a picture here of the most recent update I received. All that needs to be done now is the part needs to be set, and I've been in contact with Mashka, and she is saying that sometimes SD wigs need a bit longer to set that part, and I mean, I'm in no rush, but I'm obviously excited to see it and to get it. That should hopefully be this weekend, so that'll be cool. If I happen to have heard from her before I put this video up, I will insert a picture of the final wig, but otherwise, yeah, you'll see it soon, hopefully, on Millie, because I will definitely do a box opening type video for that when it gets here. I've been humming and hawing about redoing her face, but I mean, the more I think about it, the more I just, this is her now, so I feel very torn to, you know, rub her off. That just doesn't seem quite right. When I did suede her, I also changed her feet so that she's got her flat feet on, just because I wanted to put her in these cute little sneakers, and I thought that it would, you know, maybe help with her standing as well, which I think it has. I mean, overall she's just a lot sturdier, and I'm thinking I will do another body review video at some point, and Millie's probably up next. So yeah, now that I've sueded her and can just do so much more with her. I mean, her joints were already great, like the amount of posability was amazing, but she was just quite floppy because she was so long and lanky. But now that she's sueded, it really just changes everything. So that's that. I also sueded Claire's shoulders, chest and hips, but because Claire was quite stiff, well, not really stiff, but you know, those joints, there wasn't much room in there anyway. The joints are almost too grippy now, so I may or may not end up removing that suede in her hips more than anything, but it does mean that she can sit more upright rather than leaning back like she was prone to doing before. So I mean, I'll leave it there for a bit longer before I make any decisions about taking it out, but I mean, it's easy to put back in anyway. That's the great thing I had discovered about hot glue sueding. It's so inexpensive and easy to do, and it doesn't take very long. So I mean, yeah, you might as well do it if you've been thinking about it. It's easy enough to do. All you need is hot glue and paper. That's what I used, and there's plenty of YouTube tutorials out there of how to do it. So yeah, you really can't go wrong. Another thing I've done is I've removed Alan's tattoos. So if you saw the body review I did on Alan, you would have seen he had a black arm essentially and some marks on his shoulder. Now, although he's less accurate to his character now, I think I'm happier with him. I don't quite know why I just decided to take it off. I suppose I was a little bit worried that it might have stained him, and if he ever rubbed his hand against another part of him, he would mark that part, like some of the paint on his hand would come off. I mustn't have sealed him properly, even though I'm sure I did, I don't know, but that was happening, and I didn't want that to get on any of my other dolls. I didn't want it to come off on his white jacket. Yeah, it was just making me anxious, so I took it off, and good news, it didn't actually stain him, which I am super relieved about. But I mean, there's a little bit left in his fingers, kind of. It's not even that hand, yeah, but it's so minimal, and I kind of just gave up because I ran out of cotton buds and I ran out of like nail polish remover or acetone or whatever. But yeah, it all worked quite well though, and I think it even removed some of the yellowing he had on his lower arm because I was scrubbing it so hard, so that was good. So that's Alan. I also got an update on my April story order. I messaged them about a week ago asking if they had an update, and they got back to me and said that my order will be shipped between the 11th and the 15th of June. Now, today is the 16th of June in New Zealand, but we're a day ahead, so technically today is still within that window, but I haven't heard anything, and I've been madly refreshing the page with my order to see if, you know, the status is any different, and it hasn't been. So I don't want to get my hopes up, but I did email them again this morning just being like, hey, super excited to get my order. Thank you for the update, because I hadn't actually replied to their email where they told me the update, so I just thought I would sneak that there. I mean, I'm not worried, I don't want to annoy them and I'm certainly in no rush, but I don't know, I just thought it was a sneaky way to kind of, maybe they've forgotten, maybe they're going to and they just haven't emailed me or haven't, you know, maybe something's happened. So sometimes all it takes is an email like that just to let people know that you're still thinking about it. But yeah, and another thing, you probably know just from the way I'm acting, because been there, done that before. But I got another doll. So I was looking on Doll's website, and I obviously had heard about them before, and I'd never been too much of a fan of their head sculpts, but their bodies did intrigue me, and I had thought about using them for hybrids. But they had a crazy half price sale on, and I managed to just stumble across their page when it was in its last hour. So I was looking through, and I quite liked the look of the 1/4 scale, or their MSD Lily. Now I'll insert a picture of her here. I thought she just looks super lovely, and yes, she is MSD sized. I only have one MSD at the moment, and that is Ava. I'm pretty sure I prefer the SDs at this point, but I don't mind the MSDs. And Ava is quite different in that, you know, her head is a lot bigger. It's the size of an SD. I mean, her head is bigger than Millie's head, which is definitely saying something, so I feel like she's not really a true MSD. Her hips are SD sized, her head is SD sized. The only thing MSD about her is her chest, her feet, and her overall height. So yeah, but I thought it would be, you know, a good opportunity to try another MSD. So I checked my account, and I literally had the perfect amount in there, down to the dollar. So I did it. So I put the order in. I went and got the head and the body separately so that I could get their new body. And if anyone is worried or whatever, don't be, because I did a lot of research into it, and this new body is not the one that's been in the middle of all the controversies lately. It's one they've had for quite a while, and it's not the one that was involved in all that drama, so don't worry about that. It is simply a more age appropriate proportion, I suppose. Like, it doesn't have the massive boobs that it would come with otherwise. It doesn't have that waist joint. It is double jointed in the elbows and the knees though. I mean, I've heard mixed things, but there's generally not that much information out there for Doll in general, I find. I mean, there's the odd thing on YouTube. It seems that there just really isn't that much out there on Doll. So I figured I would get one myself, since it was such a good price, and it's not a great reason, but I also really like the look of her, and I want to see what I can do. I got her blank and normal skin, so that should be good. It'll also give me a reason to get some more MSD sized clothes, because I mean, Ava takes SD skirts and stuff, but the one MSD top I got for her doesn't fit properly because her waist is so wide. I don't want to jump in and get too many other MSD size things for her in case they don't fit either, but at least if I have another MSD that should fit them, then if they don't fit Ava, they'll fit her, and if they fit both, then win-win. So yeah, it should be good. But I'm curious to see who arrives first, because I know Doll can be pretty quick sometimes. I've heard some people getting their dolls within like 4 weeks, which is insane. Although if April's story were serious when they said that my boy should be shipped out this week, then they would get here first, but you never know, and I do not have my hopes up for them. Not that I think they're unreliable or anything, but I mean, I'm willing to be surprised, but I am not concerned or in any rush otherwise. I think that's pretty much it, actually. I really can't wait for my trade with Kate. I've been messaging her as I go and saying things like, low-key want to keep what I just made. And she's like, you could always make another one or another whatever. And I could, that's true. I've made these patterns and I've still got those. I'll probably make a couple of things again for myself, but I like the idea of having one-of-a-kind items too. It makes them more special. If I do make things for myself, I'll probably do them in a different way so that what I have for Kate is gosh, Ava's just not wanting to stand for me at the moment. What are you doing, Ava? Come on. Oh, I see. Her head's so heavy it does weigh her down quite a lot. So if I have her head facing one way too much, she won't actually cooperate. But yeah, I can't wait. Kate's going on holiday and she said she was going to try and do some crafting while she was on holiday, but I said to her to not like count on that too much and to not stress over it, because I know what it's like. Sometimes you just don't feel it, and if you're on holiday you want to have fun and be on holiday and not have to stress about getting something done, because we said that we would have our stuff ready for like July, mid-July I think it was, but and I'm just trying to be organised because I know I'm just going to get busier, but that doesn't mean that, you know, I'm going to be opposed to having more time, so yeah, it's a thing. I really can't wait. Because I've been sewing, it means I haven't been drawing, which is bad because I know that I still need to colour that picture for Nikki. And I feel so bad because she's been waiting for it for a while, but I'll get there. Sorry, Nikki. Anyway, I've been rambling enough now. I've said everything I need to. So if you're still here, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. It's been lovely and I will catch you in another video sometime soon.